Hello, welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the advantages of working with agar and how helpful it is in the world of mushroom cultivation. A super easy and convenient way to colonize mycelium at home is through a spore syringe. So when you get the spore syringe, it's actually thousands of different genetics of the variety that you purchase. When you use these spores on an agar plate, you are able to see the different genetics in the colonies forming and isolate them, and from there you can clone the strongest ones, and it honestly just kind of gives you a little bit of control of how your grow is going to end up. If you wanted to give this a try, you just have to be sure you are in a sterile environment. Very important. I'm doing all this in front of a flow hood. So you're going to take your syringe and shake it up really well. Next, you're going to take one of your plates and remove the lid, but set it very close to you. You can take the covering off of your syringe, and rather than doing a full steady stream, you are going to try to add a little bit of pressure so that the solution just kind of drips out in a Z or an X formation. And then you want to put the lid back on your plate as quickly as possible. I didn't do that, I know, but that's okay. You still should. After you finish your plates, you can wrap each one with parafilm. This will keep any air from getting inside and will prevent any contamination other than some that might already be present. So I just cut 1.5 squares of this, and then I stretched it a bit before I stuck it on to the side, and then I just kept stretching it until I made it all the way around, and then I just stuck it to the edge, and super easy. Here's just a close-up of that Z formation I was talking about, just a little trickle of spore solution. You don't want a heavy stream, you just want a little bit resting on your plate. I incubated these at 80 degrees. Here's after 1 week, and then here is after 2. So once you have a fully colonized plate, you can then transfer to another plate just to make sure your sample is clean. You would just start with the leading edge of the growth and just place a small sliver of that onto a clean plate upside down so that the top of the plate that you just cut is touching the surface of the new plate. After you do this transfer, you should start seeing some of that strong rhizomorphic spiderweb looking growth because there's going to be less competitions between colonies since you already isolated it once. So yeah, should be super strong and present and ready to do whatever you want with it. But like, what are you going to do with it? Great question. So you can use this agar and inoculate some grains, either a bag or some jars. You would just cut a little sliver of the agar and place that into the grains, put the lid back on, and then shake it up super well. I used a smaller piece than someone might normally. Happens when you film, but you could use a bigger piece. I would suggest using a bigger piece. You could also use this to inoculate a liquid culture kit. You would just take a small piece, place it into the liquid, and then screw the lid back on and incubate it. And then from there, you can make tons of liquid culture syringes. Agar plates can only be stored for a limited time, about 2 weeks or so, so you could always take some of this sample and save it for a rainy day using agar slants. You would just take a small sliver, put it into the slant, and then screw the lid back on and tap the side a little bit just to make sure that the sliver that you cut is immersed in the liquids and actually, on the slant. Another cool thing that you can do is you can clone mushrooms that you've already grown if you like the way that they've grown, if they're really big, if they grew really fast, whatever. You can clone their genetics by cutting out a little piece of the inside tissue. So you would just cut off the fruit that you wanted to use and then kind of cut around the edge of the stem just in a little circle and then place that onto the middle of a plate and grow that out. And arguably the best part about working with agar is if contamination appears, you can cut away the healthy mycelium, the healthy parts of the sample, and isolate that again and just try to save it so you don't have to waste all of your precious time and resources. It's really cool and you should definitely try it. I really hope that this helps make the process seem a little easier and gives you a little confidence in trying it out. Be sure to like and subscribe as well as comment on some other things you want to see me cover. Thanks!